Joey McGuire has signed an extension as well. 7 years, I believe, is what it's going to be for him. And we already know that they've got all their ducks in a row from a financial standpoint as well. So it seems like those two schools are kind of separating themselves in a way, both on the field and off the field. But how do you think this second go-around goes on Saturday in Arlington?
Yeah, is Joey McGuire repped by Jimmy Sexton?
I don't know, actually.
Feels like he probably is. And, good for Joey. He's earned it. I just don't get at all why these coaches are locked up for such a ridiculous long period of time. Like, I don't get it. And again, Joey's the best and I love him and good for him, but it's like, it feels careless in a world in which there's 180 million of dead money being spent right now on coaches not to coach. But I digress. Look, I do think it'll go differently. I think it should be closer. I think, look, both of these teams are improved. They're certainly not the same teams they were when they first played, but, I'd argue that the steps that BYU has made offensively have shown dramatic improvement. I mean, we saw Chase Roberts, their best receiver, miss last week's game, and then Parker Kingston slid right in and played really well in that spot. So, like, they've got the playmakers. We know they've got the running game, and I think the quarterback is much better in position to play at a higher level in this game because that's what they're going to need, obviously. With Texas Tech, it starts with what they do defensively. And I think, they don't play from behind. And, the obvious matchup here for BYU to exploit is BYU's defense against Texas Tech's offense. But, if I'm Jay Hill, the BYU defensive coordinator, or Aaron Roderick, the BYU offensive coordinator, I want to look deep into what Texas Tech's doing defensively because, I know that the approach I took game plan wise going into the first game against Texas Tech did not work. And so, I almost want to go flip-flop and pass to set up the run a little bit because obviously they've used the run to set up the pass all season. And that's not going to work against Tech. Like Tech is going to stop you against the run on first and second down. So I just think they've got to flip-flop a little bit and get, Sheil Wood and what Texas Tech's doing on their toes a little bit, and try to make some hay against that great Texas Tech defense. Because again, I think both teams, their strengths are their defense. I still trust Texas Tech's offense a little bit more than BYU's. And what we've seen is Texas Tech is just this immovable object defensively. So I think that's where they got to attack.